Welcome back to my Manhattan Crime Channel. This is the case of the Idaho quadruples. May the 4 victims rest in peace, condolence to their families, and may the correct justice be served. This clip is from Code TV. It was made in the beginning of this case. I'd like to discuss this clip with you because I find this to be important. Pay attention to the living room. We have the forensics team taking pictures of the corridor. We were told in the beginning that Ethan was found at the corridor near Xana's room. I believe that personally to be true because if you pay attention to this clip, you'll notice the forensic team taking a lot of pictures at the corridor. Pay attention to the red paper cups lying on the table, and I think a bowl for popcorn or crisps or something else. My question is, was there anyone else besides the 4 victims and the surviving roommates at 1122 Kings Road that night? It looks like there's a couple of plastic cups, and this picture was frozen in time. What actually happened? We did see 4 figures running. And one of my theories is, could it be possible that the couple, Xana and E, had friends over when somebody or some people walked into the house? Or were they chilling with some people and things went left? Allegedly. Because I don't believe that these cups were lying there from the day before. We saw how the kitchen looked. There was a lot of food and plates lying around there. So I wonder if they had a small gathering before something awful happened.
Investigation continuing into the murder of 4 college students. Court TV legal correspondent Chanley Painter is joining us live tonight from outside that home. Chanley, you've been there all day, all night. What's happening?
Hey, Benny, I have some new updates from when I was on with you last, and that is the photographers, the crime scene investigators still inside this home at the time, because we can literally see them through the second-story window in their crime scene suits. You know, they cover themselves so they don't leave anything behind as they collect forensic evidence. We can see them up there on that second floor, still working. But in the meantime, the third floor, there was the middle window on the third floor. The light was on when I was live with you last. Now the light is turned off on the third floor. But before we noticed the third floor window light, the light turn off through the window, there were photographers up there, like we witnessed on your show just moments ago on the second floor. CSI taking photos, as we can see now on the second floor, they're taking photos. So they're still actively working this scene. They've been here all day long. It's been roped off with crime scene tape. We've seen the victim's vehicle still parked up front. We've seen investigators walk in and out of the front door of this home carrying giant boxes, I presume full of evidence. On the back side, we witnessed investigators, of course, taking out evidence from the back door, which is the second floor of this house, through a sliding door. They were actually dusting for fingerprints on the back window pane next to that sliding door. And this is almost a week after 4 University of Idaho students were found brutally murdered inside this home. And what we've been hearing, what's being reported, is that 2 of the victims were on the second floor, where we see now the crime scene investigators collecting forensics, and on the 3rd floor of this home is where they were actually located. We're also finding some new details from the Moscow Police Department this evening. They're confirming that, of course, the 4 murdered inside were stabbed to death multiple times while they were likely asleep. Some had defensive wounds. Maybe they heard what was going on and woke up. We don't know, but we're confirming there's no sign of any sexual assault or what maybe some have speculated as motive in this crime. Also, there were 2 surviving roommates in this multi-room home that were unharmed, and the detectives have ruled them out. They believe that the 2 surviving roommates and a young man that is seen in video at the food truck where 2 of the victims were hours before their death, they've ruled them out. They are not involved in this crime. Additionally, we learned from the police this evening that any rumors that these victims had been tied or gagged, that was not accurate. They still, though, aren't releasing who called 911, because they're saying that these murders happened around maybe 3 or 4 a.m. last Sunday morning. Police were not called until noon, and they arrived at this home with the front door wide open. They've released that there's no signs of forced entry in this home. And when we've been here, we've noticed that the front door has a door handle with a security code lock pad that some sense of maybe security here at the home, but they say no forced entry, and this is still no murder weapon found, still no suspect or suspects named. We know that the dumpsters that are to my right and left here at the home, they've collected items. They did mention that. And they also are confirming that they've contacted local businesses here to determine if a fixed blade knife had been recently purchased. And the Idaho Statesman had talked to a local hardware owner store, and he says that the police were in town asking about some kind of a combat style or Rambo style knife blade. That's just so scary to think about here, Benny. And this happened here. I've been out in the town talking to people and neighbors without any arrest and really not much info from the authorities. You know, many people are still on edge and in fear, have left town. I've talked to the neighbors. I know I spoke with one with you live on air just an hour ago, but we've spoken to more since we've been out here. They say that, you know, this is just steps from the University of Idaho campus. A lot of students live here, and so as you can imagine, the parties happen here. We're less than a block from Fraternity Row on campus, where 2 of the victims were at a party before their deaths. So the neighbors say that, you know, it's usual to have parties in this area at this home where the crime scene is, and it's not unusual to hear out. The neighbor I talked to earlier said they just put on a fan, they drown out the noise, and they go to sleep. So it is unusually quiet here, and people are being more cautious, not only here in this area, but on the campus. Students have gone home for the Thanksgiving holiday, and you can definitely see the increased security, not just of the campus police and Moscow police, but state police here, as well as the FBI are inside this home right now, and private security. The campus has hired private security as well.
Many of the students went home right after the quadruples. I wonder if statements were taken from them before they left. This is an active crime scene, and I find it strange that people will love to go home. I don't understand. Students were traumatized. They felt unsafe. But anyone could have done these crimes. So why were people allowed to go home? Is my question, my humble question. The cups on the table tells me that there could have been a little gathering or party there. Let's not forget nobody saw the couple between 9 to 1:45, allegedly. Xana and E were allegedly at the Sigma Chi fraternity party. But how come there wasn't any social media pictures of them? Xana and E used to take a lot of pictures together, but for some strange reason, we saw only one picture of Ethan with his brother and sister at the Betty ball, and that was between 8 to 9 p.m. The previous timeline, between 3 to 4 a.m., makes much more sense to me. Were the people gathered in the living room? Could something have gone wrong? Let's not forget 3 unidentified male DNAs was found in the house. If he was found in the corridor, I wonder if he was running away from the living room. There's a steps towards the living room that goes down to BF's room. So could someone or some people have ran up the steps and rushed them? Was it an unexpected assault that took place? And I find it interesting that there wasn't any S assaults on the victims, which was good. May they rest in peace. But that makes me believe that it's someone they know. This was personal, and this wasn't anything that I believe that came from a random person who did not know these students. The front door was left wide open. Many people and many students have the code to get into the front door, according to Katie's own sister and many other people. So if they came from the sliding door, did they leave from the front door? Or did they come in from the front door and leave from the front door? Let me know what you think about this picture. Was there a party, a little gathering? We saw 4 figures running, and there was 3 unidentified male DNAs in the house. Please like, share, and subscribe. May the victims rest in peace.